Welcome to Naughty Nautilus. My name is Corinne and this is Flosstube number 5. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much. Looks like we're getting better about being on a schedule. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. I have a little, well, I still worked on a lot in the last month. And actually, I have 3 finishes to show you. I'm pretty excited about it. When I left the last Flosstube, I had talked about how I wanted to whip down and really try to focus on getting some of these projects that I've had sitting done. And so I did manage to do that. And actually, one of my finishes is a start and a finish. So let's get into them. The first thing I finished, I'm super excited about. I finished my Deadly Aquarium. So this was the Deadly Aquarium. This was a stitch along from Lola Crow. And here it is. So the last time you saw it, I had been working and I had just done the tide pool. And it sat for actually a couple weeks after that because I kind of just didn't want to work on it. And I ended up going back and I did the hammerhead with all his pilot fish. I did this eagle ray up here, everything in the stinger section. So you have all the little nudibranchs, the Portuguese man of war and the other jellies. I hadn't done the barracuda yet. And then all of the crocodile. So there it is. And this is on a 32 count Lugana in the color Seaweed, done by Oak Crown Studios. So I'm super happy with how it turned out. I don't have plans to frame it right now. I don't have a frame in my frame stash that'll work for it. And framing it's not really a priority right now, but I will keep my eye out for it. But super happy to have this done. So when I started this with the stitch along and kind of fell behind, caught up, fell behind, caught up, and then just fell behind. So yeah, but I'm super happy with it. I will also say I really did enjoy the overall stitch along process. This was the first stitch along I'd done. So yeah, right now it's going to go into my box that I keep finishes in. It's not too many. I'm usually pretty good about fully finishing things. I think I have maybe like two or 3 things in there right now. One of them needs a very special frame. I'm going to have to custom order. The other one I just haven't found a frame for. So yeah, but that was the Deadly Aquarium. So I had been, that was kind of, I did all of that in like a couple of days. I had decided, not this last weekend, but 2 weekends ago, that that was all I was going to do all weekend. My weekend was going to be Deadly Aquarium. We were going to see where it got me. And then by the end of the Sunday, I had like under 350 stitches left and a little bit of back stitching. So the Monday, I just finished it. So it was good, kind of like a push for me. So yeah, but the other thing I had been working on pretty much as soon as I finished the last Flosstube, I really wanted to work on the Gentleman by Riolis. And this was a kit I had been working on, and here he is finished. So when you saw him last, I'm going to switch places with it. I had a good chunk of this portion of him done. I was working over in here, filling in. And so basically I just went and finished this side, the whole bottom. And then I decided to work my way up. I was getting kind of tired of black and gray. So then I just started working on his face. And I just kind of worked my way up here and then came back down and did this. So I'm super happy with it. Somehow my centering on the fabric didn't quite work. If you look, I don't have a lot of margin up top and I got a lot on the bottom, but it should be enough for me to frame him. So I've not actually looked to see if I have a frame that fits this one yet, but I'm very happy with it. So that was 2 done. So that brought my total, since I decided to whip down, that brought my number of finishes down up to 3. So I went ahead and I wanted to do something small. So I actually did my my first Mill Hill kit. So I had bought a Mill Hill kit earlier this year because I wanted to try it, and I thought it'd be good practice for beading for my Mirabilia, which I never did it before I started beading the Mirabilia. So yeah, but this is the Bacon and Eggs. It's from the Spring Bouquet, and it is actually a magnet. So I actually really enjoyed stitching this. Since right now I'm still job hunting, I got all the stitching done in one day and all the beading and the fully finishing in another day. So, and I just got some black floss, some 310, and kind of wrapped it around the edges. I didn't like the look of just the plain paper. So I did that, and then I just basically, it's a piece of cardboard on the back. I also didn't like the raw back. So it's my first Mill Hill finish. I'm pretty happy with it. I probably will end up getting some more and working on them. It was a fun little project to have. So yeah. So that brings, so my whip down rule was I have to finish 2 to be able to start 1. So that means I finished 4 things so I can start something. And we'll talk about that in my plans. But so other than those finishes, I did work on 4 other projects. We'll start with the BAP. So this is the Calamity Tapestry from Breath of the Wild by Craftigurumi. And this is where we are at. So I'll put a picture over my face of where I was. I didn't do a whole lot on this. So I had wanted to try to get 2,000 stitches on this in a month. And so I was trying to do that. And I only picked it up one day and I did 295 stitches. And I think that was 2 full lengths of thread. And so I just worked through here. I don't remember exactly where I left off, but I just continued working down in this lettering. And this is on 25 count mushroom Lugana, and it's 1/1. And so now it was at 2.23%, and now it's at 2.41%. So it's very slow going. And what I'm coming to realize is that maybe I'm kind of sick of this. So the next time I pick it up, I think I'm going to start working on something up in this area, because there's stuff that goes across here. I mean, this whole thing is going to get filled. So I think I might just start working up here and see how we're going. I'm also using Cross Stitch Saga to track this one, and I'm still kind of learning the software. So there's a little bit of a learning curve with that as well. This needle minder is from Outlaw Stitching on Etsy. I felt I needed, if I was going to have a project I was going to work on for a very long time, I might as well theme the needle minder. I didn't do it with the grime guard. I made this grime guard. But yeah, so I do intend to try to get more stitching in on this one. We'll see if I can get 2,000 this month. I have been thinking about trying to implement either like a daily or a weekly stitching routine. So I might take a week and try to stitch like 100 stitches a day or something like that on it, but I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't figured out how to get myself to work on this yet, so we're exploring ideas for that. But this is the Calamity Tapestry. So hopefully you'll see this every month, and hopefully other months there will be more progress. So I have another project that I want to try to work on every month to make progress, and that is fish and chips from Long Dog Samplers. Long Dog Samplers. Apparently I can't speak that well this morning. So this is where it was last time you saw it. I had made some progress, and I talked about making a monthly goal of this, and I had wanted to do about 1,500 stitches a month on it. And so I actually kept track, and when I hit I hit the goal. I got 1,521 stitches, probably just to finish my thread, and this is where we're at. So I did end up putting it in a larger Q-snap, and I think that helped a lot because I felt less constricted. So I was able to finish the whale, and there is also a mistake somewhere in here, or in here, I can't remember, but I fudged it. I had a few leaves up here to finish. I brought this all the way over. I brought the border down on the side here. This whole fish, this little whale, and I started on this. This is a kind of a bigger motif here. So I got working on that. So I really did enjoy it. I'm really liking how the floss is turning out. So this is stitched on a 32 count Murano by Zweigart in light blue. And I'm using DMC 4025 for it. So it's kind of a teal, another greenish blues. So yeah, I'm very excited. I was a little sad to put it away, but I wanted to work on my other projects too. So I'm excited that it's now November and I can pick it up again. So, and I think I did it in 3 days because I was really enjoying stitching on it. So yeah, especially once I got it in this larger frame. This needle minder is from Descent Stitch on Etsy. A lot of my needle minders are from there. This grime guard I purchased from Crab Shack Stitchery, as well as the bag it's in. I'm not very good at showing you my bags, but this is the bag it lives in. And I have a matching smaller bag with it as well. But I like these bags because the frames fit in there super easy. And I'm lazy and don't like to always take my pieces out of the frames if I don't have to. They sit in their frames usually. And I haven't had too much of an issue getting creases out and stuff like that. So yeah. All right, this next one. This is from the book Cross Stitch with Cattitude by Emma Congdon. I'm making this one for a friend for Christmas. So I do try to work on this one because I want to get it done for Christmas, and it is still in the hoop. Because again, I don't want to move this one around, but this is where it was, and this is where we're at now. So I think last time you saw it was about 30-something%, and now this is just over 60% complete, 61.19% complete. So I finished filling in all of the rainbow. I finished filling in the cat, working on these clouds, and I've just started adding in the white. So I was saving the white because 1, I had to pull it from another project, and 2, I'd like to stitch white last. I feel like it gets less dirty. So I started filling it in through here. So, and what I decided was, to make sure I didn't just hyper focus on this, and I worked on some other projects as well, I was like, okay, for October, I want to get it to 60%. And that's what I did. And I only stitched on it. I only started adding in the white one day after I had finished a bunch of other projects. And I was like, I want something easy. And I was like, oh, this I can just kind of fill in. So the goal will be to get this to 90%, if not finished, in November. We'll see how other stitching goes. But I figure if I can get it to 90% in November, then in December, I can do the last 10% and fully finish it in time for Christmas. So yeah, I'm super happy with how it's turning out though. I think last time I talked about there's this light blue and it was kind of hard to see, but once you added in the purples and like you fill in the cat, it really does show up. It doesn't blend in, and it'll be better once you fill in the white here as well. So, but this is, it's not a whole lot of stitching really. I forgot how big it is, but I mean, you fill basically anywhere there's these clouds, it's going to be white, the letters get filled, and then there's, you know, a few more words down at the bottom. So yeah. And I worked on one more project, which I think people will be excited to see because you guys have not seen this project since my whip parade. This is my whale, or I call it the Floral Whale. And it is by AKX Stitch on Etsy. And I started this in December of last year, December 29th, 2023. And it was originally a whip go call for January, and the goal was to get it to 50%. I got it to 50%, and then it has been sitting since then. So when I was doing some other stitching, or I had finished a lot of the goals I was trying to get to, I wanted something else to stitch. And this was probably last week or so, or the week before. And I needed something to stitch on. So I decided to pull this one out. So this is where it was last time you saw it. And this is where we are now. It is still in the Q-snap. I was working on this last night, but tail is up here. So basically what I did is I decided to work in this section. I filled in, I had some missing colors through here. So I started by filling those in, getting these petals in, and then started working down into the flipper. So I'm enjoying the progress on here. I think I will probably still work on this. I might try to get to a portion of this. So it was at 50%. It's now at 64.38%. So I don't know if I'll try to get it to like 75% or something like that, and then put it away, maybe work on something else, or if I want to try to push to finish this. I might get burned out on it, so that's it. I'm kind of playing it by ear, but this is on the short list as I push to finish. This is just, it's all the called for DMC, and it's a 16 count Charles Craft Ada in antique. I got it, I don't know if I got it at Michael's or Joann, but one of those two. Needle minders from Descent Stitch. This is another grime guard from Crab Shack Stitchery. Sorry, my brain forgot for a second. So yeah, I'm also debating, there is some back stitching that goes in here, and I was thinking about this last night, that I might start back stitching what I can in this section and kind of do it as I go. Sometimes I wait, sometimes I do it as I go. And I'm finding that if I do it as I go, I hate it a little less. So I might try to do that. So yeah, the whale, or just whale. All right, so that's what I worked on. It doesn't, I mean, to me, well, it was four projects, 4 whips, and 3 finishes. So it actually is quite a bit. And remember too that right now I'm looking for work and have a lot of free time. So we've been getting a lot of stitching done. You know, some of those days I spent 8 hours, 10 hours in a day, maybe even 12 hours stitching. So I can really make a lot of progress when I do that. So for plans, I want to get, like I said, I want to get the Christmas gift, the I Do What I Want by Emma Congdon, to about 90%, but I might finish it depending. I still want to work on the Whip Go calls that I have started. So that includes the whale. It also includes the Mediterranean Mermaid by Mirabilia, but I'm still waiting for those Krynics to arrive. It could take 10 plus weeks, and that puts them, if it takes 10 weeks, that means they're not coming till December. So I kind of lost steam on wanting to even bead that, but I might pick up some of the beading just to make some progress on it. I would like to finish it this year. I really would. I started that one in 2022, in December of 2022. And I think 2 years for memorabilia is too long. And it's my first one. So I was very intimidated, but I'd like to not have it sitting for longer. And I do want to start my next one. I originally intended to wait until I finished Mediterranean Mermaid, but I might start it sooner, depending on how my other projects go. But I have 3 other projects that were on my WIPGO board that have been started. The oldest one is my Dilophosaurus, the Patterns by Outlaw Stitching on Etsy, and it looks like this. This one has about 3,000 stitches, maybe a little over that. And this is another one that it's been sitting for a long time, and I think it's because the confetti stitching annoys me. And I've thought about trying to make that give like weekly goals or do like a daily 100 or something on it, just to kind of get some progress on it. Because again, I think it's my second oldest WIP, and I really would like to get it done. So I will take recommendations for how you motivate yourself, because sometimes I struggle. And then I have 2 others. One is The Cats Have Arrived by Owl Forest Embroidery. You would have seen this one in my WIP parade back in February. I think my first one went out in February or early March. But that one's at 30-something%, I believe. I would like to finish it, so that might be one I pick up and work on a little bit. I might just pick up all of these and work on them a little bit. I don't know. And the last one is, it's a Riolis Kit, Cat and Flowers, and it looks like this. You saw this one in my last video. I made just a little bit of progress, so I might decide to work on that one as well. Who knows? I'm kind of playing it by ear. Right now, I think it's probably going to be the whale. Might get pushed to a finish just because I seem to want to work on that. But I mostly stitch whatever I feel like stitching. So sometimes it's difficult for me to make plans. Right now, I only have 1 plan start. So like I said, I finished 3 stitches. I started the Mill Hill kit and then I finished it. So that brought me to 4. So that means I can start something else. So it's a bit unusual, but apparently I really like stitch alongs. So Lola Crow is doing her Christmas Monsters stitch along. I know in my last video I said I wasn't a seasonal stitcher, but I don't know. I feel like Christmas Monsters would be fun. So, and I have looked at some of her Christmas ornaments before on her webpage. So I went ahead and so this is a little bit of haul in there. So I did purchase the pattern, and I intend to stitch it as 4 separate ornaments. She has a frame that you can stitch to make it 1 piece, but I'm going to do 4 separate ornaments, and I'm going to count it as 1 project, even though they'll technically be 4. But I already had 18 count Black Ada, which is the called for, and I already have DMC. I will have to purchase a few DMCs that I am low on in my master set. I think it's like 3. So it's not a huge expense. So I'm not put out by purchasing that pattern. So yeah, so we're going to give that a go. So that's also why I'm not sure if I'm going to get 2 of my old WIPGO finishes done, because I'm going to have the ornaments to stitch as well. But we'll see. If I can do it all, I will do it all. If I can't, we'll see what I get done. But those are the tentative plans. I am still evaluating goals. So for the Calamity Tapestry, you know, I said I want to do 2,000 stitches a month. I was trying to see if that's feasible or not for me, or if there's another way to mix it up. If I really feel like it, maybe I'll push further on my fish and chips, because a finish is a finish, even if it's a bigger project. So we'll see. I do have the tiniest bit of haul. I'm a bit of a sucker for the deal label. So on Amazon, 2 dimensions kits that I have been eyeballing were either like a daily deal or like they had a coupon to make it cheaper. So they each cost me like $13, which to me is reasonable, but eventually it does add up. So I probably will not be purchasing any more, but I got Morning Lake. Ooh, I'm trying to get not the glare on the container from my light, but this little Dimensions Gold Petite. I don't know, that I like things with water, and it just instilled some vibes in me. So we've added this one to the collection. I'm not sure when it will start. This is also why I want to push for more starts, because I have a lot of kits and stuff that I've collected or inherited that I would like to get to, plus a ton of other patterns. But I have this one, and then the other one here is Bayside Cottage. And again, this one just super appealed to me. So this is the newest one. It came in on Friday. So I feel like, ooh, I want to start this one because it's the shiny new one. But for now, they're getting filed away with my other kits. And I will, should not be buying more kits or patterns, hopefully. We're mostly freezing that until life is a little more stable. This last weekend, I went to the International Quilt Festival in Houston. And that's part of the reason why we're really going to limit what we're buying now, because I did know I was going to spend money there mostly on quilting things, but I did get one stitchy related thing. So this was a little sashiko style embroidery kit. Has 2 swordfish, which I do love a good billfish. It's what I wanted to work on when I went to school. Life did not take me that way, but I thought this was pretty. So this is like a 19 by 19 inch piece of fabric. And then it does have the thread and 2 different size needles to use. So, yeah, so eventually I'll do this. I will probably use some of my fabric and make it into a wall hanging, put a border around it, but not sure when I will do this. I have this. I have a few other embroidery kits in my stash that I probably will stitch eventually, but we haven't gotten to yet. So very small amount of haul. That probably should be it for haul for a while. Unless, I become a millionaire, then I will buy it all. But yeah, that's where we're at. So hopefully we'll see you at the beginning of December. So it might be about 3 weeks between this one and the next one. I do want to, it seems to be that now that my cross-stitching mojo has come back, that monthly is a good option for me. And hopefully, we'll have a few, hopefully we'll have at least 3 things to show you, if not 4 or 5, which I think is a good number. But yeah, and if you're interested, I do also quilt. You probably noticed my quilt block in progress behind me. And I have one video talking about my quilting, and I'm going to film another one that I'll post shortly after this video, hopefully. And so if you're interested, I would love it if you would check it out. If not, I totally understand. It's not for everybody. But yeah, so I want to thank you guys for stopping by. There's not much of a life update. Been living life, trying to find a job, trying to keep myself busy and sane. I guess I did do, so we went to the Houston for the quilt festival last weekend. 2 weekends before that, my boyfriend and I went out of town to hit up a few breweries just to get out. He had some PTO he needed to use, so he was like, hey, you want to go to this place and get some beers and just get out for the weekend. So we did that. And then the weekend before that was a local festival, a music and food festival. So if you've never been to a Cajun food festival, it's very filling and delicious. So, so we did do a bit. It's normally in October, it cools off quite a bit. And so they start picking up with festivals and stuff again, but it's still hot here. Like, I think today's high is in the mid 80s and it's November. It's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, it's been stay inside and do crafty things for me. But so there's not been too much life updates that are particularly interesting. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for coming to check out what I've been working on. I hope I'll see you again. And let me know in the comments, you know, which ones of these do you think I should try to focus on next? Should I finish? And how do you motivate yourself on these longer term projects to make sure you get work on them? Sometimes I get that whole mentality of like, oh, you have to do this one, so I want to procrastinate. I don't know why my brain does it, but it does. So share those ideas with me. I'd love to hear it. I'm all for trying to get myself motivated. I will see you guys in December. Thank you for stopping by.